Good morning, everyone. Good morning, parents, family, grandparents, friends. Good morning, teachers, faculty, and administration. And good morning, Morgan Park Academy, class of 2016. Okay, when tasked with giving the valedictory address, it came as kind of a surprise to me, especially given my history of not being chosen to deliver graduation speeches. As some of you may remember, in our younger years, we were given the opportunity to write a reflection about that school year. This began in 5th grade, when we were all assigned to write something to deliver before the school. I wanted to see myself on stage to give myself a voice for everyone to hear, and I remember turning in my speech, brimming with innocence and pride that I'd written something a full page long. And I was confident I would be chosen. I was not. Nevertheless, in 6th grade, I was sure that was my year. It was not. Nor was 7th grade, and nor was 8th grade. So that being said, I would like to say that I'm absolutely honored to give this speech before you. Honored, but terrified, because I feel absolutely unqualified. However, I now realize that this speech is not a personal reflection of my own time at MPA, but my chance to give our class a voice, to speak about my friends, our peers who make up the class of 2016, to reflect on our school, our families, and our futures. Teachers, we have been incredibly lucky to have been taught by a group so enthusiastic and passionate. Not only have our teachers taught us about the Pythagorean theorem, the elements of the periodic table, and how to diagram a sentence, but we also know how to fill out income tax forms, balance a checkbook, and investigate the legitimacy of a charity, among many other useful skills. However, more than anything, you have taught us to care about our families, our communities, our work, and each other. You, our teachers, have been such a strong presence in our lives for the past years, and each morning you remind us that teaching is one of the most honorable careers in our society. Parents, we owe you our deepest thanks, our most profound gratitude. Without you, we could not walk across this stage today. You were our first teachers. You are our constant supporters, even if you don't always understand our motivations. For us, you have sacrificed. For us, you have given your time and your love, even when all we gave you back was an eye roll. But sincerely, we do thank you, and we love you probably more than we've expressed in these past years. To my own mom and dad, I'm sorry for our fights because they were really all my fault, and I cannot thank you enough for putting up with me, for allowing me to feel right when I was probably wrong. Thank you for always encouraging me, for letting me make decisions on my own. And thank you for not laughing in my face this year when I temporarily decided to become the next Tina Fey. I'm really not funny at all. Class of 2016. I think we're a pretty awesome bunch. I'm honored to have spent high school with each and every one of you. In our midst, we have future athletes, politicians, scientists, journalists, veterinarians, doctors, and engineers. We are a group so diverse in talents that it would be a disservice to attempt to list them all. In our years growing up, we have formed a bond that was almost akin to siblinghood, strong, unwavering, sometimes dysfunctional, filled with both unity and rivalry. At times, we've made stronger alliances against teachers, administration, and sometimes other students than many countries have made during wartime. We've become bonded as a class, unified. Together, we have accomplished a lot because we stuck together, we grew together, and we inspired our friends and one another to be better and do more. But I don't believe that this should just be a sentimental speech, a walk down memory lane. We're more than nostalgic young adults who, now that we've passed the line between student and alumni, are pining for the good old days. As I stand before you, I hope to give more than the reflection that was asked of us in middle school, and instead to speak to the immediate, to our futures. I now realize I have little guidance or counsel for my class. I'm definitely not wiser or more experienced than any student on this stage. Thus, I decided to begin by using the words of someone else, or many people, actually. There's a Russian idiom that translates to, literally, take oneself in one's hands. In context, this means Pull yourself together. Yes, asking a class to pull themselves together may seem like an odd way to begin a speech for a happy occasion. However, on this day, which is poised to be labeled as the first day of the rest of our lives, I believe that this is the mantra many of us need. No, we're not inconsolable. We are not hysterical about moving into the wider world. In fact, it is quite the opposite. As young adults, we see our capabilities. We find solace in dreaming about the future, about all the things we will do and accomplish for humanity. We, the class of 2016, are ready to take the world by storm. We are eager for independence, eager to go out in the world and make something of ourselves. We see ourselves as resilient, ready for hardships and disappointment, confident that our own drive and passion for good will help us to achieve our dreams. As we look out into the horizons of our lives, we see possibilities brimming with independence and self-sufficiency. We see the opportunity to make decisions for ourselves, to control every aspect of our own lives. So there's an awesome appeal to the phrase, take oneself in one's hands. Yet, even as we do this, even as we set out into wider realms to take on politics, medicine, business, and the injustices of the world, we must realize we're not alone. Nobody's really alone. In Russia, in an isolated country home, it may be simple enough to take oneself in one's hands, where self-reliance is the only choice. But we do not live in that world. At the very least, we find ourselves swimming in the sea of ideas, choices, and people that is our society. We know that we are inextricably bound to some place, to somebody, to our class of 2016. This past year, in the midst of global turmoil, economic strife, political shifts, and a historic, albeit frustrating, presidential election, we have seen the effects of a global lack of unity, within our own nation, within our own cities, and within our own school. In context, this idiom's meaning, pull yourself together, comes to signify more for our class and our generation than it originally seemed. In our world today, we are not simply individuals with solitary dreams and aspirations. We are groups, we are families, brought together by the ideas and values that we so fervently support. We are humans brought together by common experiences, by common traits that we cannot solely describe. As we look out into the wider world and set our sights on something, we must remember our humanity, our duty to others, our unity with the human race. We cannot solely look for our own gain, but must continue on the path that we created for ourselves in high school. When I look at the class of 2016, I see a group of students who have spent their past years helping their communities, future scientists who volunteered at hospitals and conducted research, groups of dedicated students who organized food and clothing drives for refugees. Some of us have worked extensively on literacy campaigns. We are future politicians who labored tirelessly for the Student Council. We are artists and choreographers who raised thousands of dollars to benefit AIDS research and treatment. We, as a class, understand the plurality of our existence and have done what we can to improve it. And with that understanding, we have chosen to become a class of action. I see my class exercising this action already in aspects of their life, by keeping their word, by holding doors open for strangers, by embracing diversity and expounding bigotry, and through random acts of kindness. We now are choosing to expand this action through our education and future pursuits. We are a class of diligent dreamers, future Doctors Without Borders, future Peace Corps volunteers, future artists, future educators. We want to engineer more sustainable desalination plants for regions prone to drought, to use microeconomics as a means to fight world hunger. We are a class who will identify problems in this world, both big and small, and work diligently and innovatively to solve them. I have confidence in my class of 2016. I am thankful to be a part of this class, to be a part of a class in which each student realizes their relationship to the wider world, to be a class that recognizes the value of we and the value of us and the value of viewing this as our world. This idiom, in the context of our class, becomes less about consolation and more about solidarity. The solidarity that our class exhibits when we decided to go away with you and I and adopt the mentality of we. So, as we now walk the line between student and alumni, class of 2016, let's pull ourselves together. Thank you.